Welcome to Partnerships for Profit, the podcast where we bring you inside the world of joint ventures, strategic partnerships, and powerful collaborations. Whether you're looking to expand your network, find new referral partners, or scale your business, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Hey, welcome back to Partnership for Profit. I am Will Brooks, your host for this afternoon, and we have a very cool guest today. We have Zino Osehobo, who is an attorney and the founder of Grace Legal Group in Los Angeles, doing criminal defense work for people. Zino, how are you, man? It's great to have you on the show.
Blessed and highly favored. Thanks for having me, Will. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Super excited to talk to you. Hang on, I'm texting my wife to get the dog out of my office because she's driving me nuts. Out of here. That's a first for the show. My dog's just like pacing around my desk. She's a big German Shepherd, so she gets in the way.
I have a bulldog. Does the same thing.
So Zino, tell me a little bit about Grace Legal Group and the mission that you guys have.
Yes, sir. So Grace Legal Group is a minority-owned law firm in Los Angeles. It's me and my partner, Jordan Dixon Hamilton. We went to Pepperdine School of Law together, graduated together, and at the graduation party, we just said, hey, man, you want to start a firm together? And he just said, yeah. And the rest is history. You know, we focus primarily on criminal defense. We don't do anything else. We did foray into restraining orders for a little bit, but we realized that our passion and our mission is criminal defense and giving people second chances.
Love that. So, and you did that straight out of law school, 25 years old?
Straight out of law school. I'm what they call a K through JD, kindergarten, straight to JD. And then straight to starting a firm.
There's probably not very many of you that fall into that category, at least that I've talked to. We deal with a lot of lawyers here on the podcast and in our business. And I don't know if anybody I've spoken with who was like out of law school, like, all right, so let's start our own firm, didn't go work anywhere else. That's really rare.
I mean, we came out the pandemic and there was a hiring freeze, which is across the board, private, public defender, even the prosecutor's office.
Right.
So I think it was honestly just like divine timing that it was the path was open for me to start a firm versus if any of those places were hiring, I would have been on there probably.
So you started the firm right after the pandemic?
Yeah.
So you guys are brand new. You've only been around for like what, 4 years, 5 years?
Yeah, we did law school at Zoom University, and as soon as it was social distancing for graduation. And then, that took the bar, passed it November 2021, and opened it the next day.
That's incredible, man. So how has that experience been? How has it been going? I mean, your firm is brand new. You guys are I don't mean that in a negative sense. Like, tell me about that experience of kind of starting from scratch at such a young age in a field that is kind of dominated by, I don't want to say something negative, but kind of dominated by old heads. Like that's who's running the legal world. So tell me how that experience has been, how that's going, and what you guys are doing to make it work.
Absolutely. From the beginning, it was just be in court every day, no matter what. So even if I don't have clients, go to there's 25 courthouses in Los Angeles, just Los Angeles alone.
Right.
Let alone Orange County, Riverside County, San Bernardino County, San Diego. So my process was be in court every day, learn, absorb. So probably like the first month was just going to court, listening to people, talking to people. Some of those old heads, yes, some of them, they look down on us. And there's actually a guy who made it a point to just tell us that we shouldn't have done this. Like almost every month he would message us on Instagram. But there's a lot of people who decided to pass down wisdom. Public defenders, private alike, even prosecutors, where I would walk up to them, ask them a question. They were more than eager to share that knowledge with me. So I would take a lot of notes and just kind of learn and absorb of how to do criminal defense, how to handle a case, what can be done. Why did you ask that? Why did that happen? And then we just started basically marketing the old grassroots way. We got business cards and people would be in court and we'd give it to them. If they approached us first, we didn't go up to them. I would wear a suit so that people would come up to us in the hallway.
So people that were there for a case would come and say, hey, are you a lawyer?
Yes.
That's pretty much what it was?
Exactly. I can't go to them and be like, hey, you're in a criminal courthouse. Hire me. That's solicitation. Can't do that. But
okay.
Yeah, you're in a criminal case, and it kind of goes into the minority owned. Not only are a lot of people old heads, there's plenty of criminal defense attorneys who definitely are African American or Hispanic, but a majority of lawyers are Caucasian. I
Yeah.
think out of all the lawyers, only 4% are African American, and that's both male and female. So
And
there's
are you talking about criminal defense, or are you talking about lawyers in general?
lawyers in general.
Wow.
Like 4% African American. So, walking down the hallway, people would come and they say, "Hey, man, like, please tell me you're a lawyer." I'm like, "Yes, I am. Take my card, hire me."
I have a card, as a matter of fact. That is
and
as grassroots as it gets, for
yeah,
sure.
that's how it started.
Okay, so that's how things got rolling. Did you guys have like a spot? Did you have an office, or were you working out of your homes, or how did you
Yeah,
start it?
it's 2021, so it's we're coming out of the pandemic, but people are still definitely remote.
Yeah,
First of all,
I
we didn't
remember.
have to get an office space. My first client hired me for $300 to handle the whole case. So we definitely worked from home. Me and my partner, we would meet up at each other's houses and we would talk through the cases together. And just result after result allows you to get reviews on Google. That's free,
Right. Yep.
And so you start getting reviews on Google. Some people are like, you only have 2 reviews, and it says on the state bar you've been a lawyer for 2 months. But some people are so desperate, they're like, I don't care, man. Like, just I trust you, and that really is. I don't take that for granted. I think that was definitely again divine intervention to let that happen.
What led you to criminal defense? Why is that the area you decided to go into?
Sure. So I would say, I don't know if you remember, but like the whole George Zimmerman, Trayvon Martin trial.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
I was Trayvon Martin's age when he died. So I remember.
Was he 14?
17.
17. Okay. Wow.
So I remember watching that case, and again, on the flip side, it was like, okay, obviously this was a horrible thing that happened. How did he be found not guilty? And it just came down to his lawyer made the point that there wasn't enough evidence to prove him beyond a reasonable doubt. So then I went into college, and I really just started learning more about both sides, prosecution and criminal defense. And in law school, I had the blessing of being able to travel to Uganda to work on plea bargains because they don't have a public defender system over there. And just so the journey started at 17, but going through college, going through law school, I educated myself about how the criminal system works in America. And the result was just that there are a lot of people, primarily minorities, who aren't getting proper representation.
Yeah.
And it results in them being separated from their families or losing their life to living in a cage. So I just wanted to get in to be a soldier at the gate before they go.
That's amazing, man. That's so cool. Good for you. Glad that you made that choice. Because you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe that criminal defense is necessarily where the money is in law. Personal injury lawyers are making all the money. And criminal defense lawyers are not making that kind of money necessarily. I know some of them do quite well, but I think for the most part, you guys are, you're going case to case, right? That's kind of,
that's how it works. Like I said, my first client hired us for $300, and
that's amazing.
True fashion, you give your first check to your parents. So I remember giving them $300, and they were just like, "This is all." And I'm like, "This is criminal defense. This is how it works."
So, so are you going on 5 years? Is that right?
4 years next month.
4 years. 4 years in November. Okay. Man, you guys are just getting started. That's awesome, dude. I'm so excited for you guys to just kind of be getting off the ground. That's such an exciting space to be in. It can also be scary, but it's an exciting spot to be in for sure. So the name of the firm is Grace Legal Group.
Yeah.
You guys believe in second chances. That's a big part of your mission, right? I guess that's kind of where the name comes from, giving people grace.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. So is there a moment or a story that kind of made that mission personal for you, that kind of help you visualize this is what the firm is called? Is there something that kind of inspired that?
Sure, absolutely. Like you said, our slogan is, with grace, there's always a second chance. We are an openly Christian firm. We help all people from all walks of life, but my faith tells me that you're not the worst thing that you ever done. And I wanted that to be clear in the work that I do on a daily basis. My first client, the $300 client, he basically was hanging out with some friends at night in downtown LA. This guy is 21 years old, and he's in the car with them, and it's 4 people. But he didn't know that I think the passenger in the front seat or in the back seat with him had a gun on him. And so it's interesting that the series of events that led to him entering a cage is something you really wouldn't plan for. But he gets in the car, he's hanging out with his friends. In California, you can't have a certain level of tint on your windows. So if you have windows too tinted, the police will pull you over. And then there's a law that says if there's more people in the car than the police officer, then the police officer is allowed to bring them all out of the car for his safety. So they pull over. I'm telling you. So they pull over. I learned all of this like on the fly. It was on the job training. You know, I had to figure out like, is this even legal? But they pull them over. They bring everyone out the car for the tint. And then the cop says, "Oh, I see a gun in the door like handle.
The little storage area by the under the okay.
In the back as they're opening. Oh, I see a gun. And whose gun is it? And obviously, no one's gonna say it's my gun. So everyone gets arrested for possession of a firearm. And he was on his way to. He had basically taken off some time to take care of his mom, but he actually she was handled. So now he was getting ready to go back into college. He already has acceptance. And I remember telling the prosecutor that, just talking to them about it. And they just said, no, possession of a firearm, he can have 16 months.
16 months?
That's the low jail? End. That's the low end. Yeah. Felony, gun possession, 16 months. On the high end, 3 years. She's like, yeah, 16 months. This is his first offense. I'm like, oh, so you know it's his first offense. It's not even his offense. It wasn't his gun, but no one's going to own up to that. So I really had to sit down, research. How can I help him? He's in my hands now. I prayed, and I sought wisdom from my mentors who I've been talking to, and they basically said, what you can do is you can file it's called a 17B motion. It reduces a felony to a misdemeanor. So now instead of his maximum being 3 years, it's now 1 year. So I did that, and that was granted. The judge was like, yeah, what are we doing here? It's his first offense. So it came down to misdemeanor, but he's still not out of the weeds yet. Then I learned there was a law, Penal Code 1001.95. It's called diversion. I know, I had to learn all this on the fly.
It's amazing, dude. Yeah.
It's called diversion. So basically, diversion is the part of the penal code that says, you're a good person, you have a low criminal history, you want to do community service. We will divert you out of the justice system, and come back in a year, you're all good. We'll dismiss this from your record and dismiss the case. So I filed that motion. The prosecution obviously opposed it. I don't know why they felt they needed to put this man in jail, but I made up my argument. The judge granted it.
Was he a person of color? Was he black? Was he a person of color?
Yeah, he was black. He was black. 21-year-old black kid.
Probably why they wanted to put him in jail. Go ahead. I digress. Go ahead.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You can't call it out loud, but like the back of my head, it's personal. Like you asked, like it's like, oh my gosh, this really happens. You want to put him in a cage, just derail his life for something that is not even anyway. So yeah, the judge granted it. He was crying with me. He was just like, man, I was praying. I'm so glad I found you. I can go back to college now. Thank you so much. And that was the first client.
Did he find you at the courthouse? Did he come up to you and say, hey, are you a lawyer?
He did. He did, because, I'll say this, like a lot of my mentors have been public defenders. They have been giving me good advice. There's a lot of good public defenders that fight out there. But it is just a fact that there are a lot of public defenders, not a lot maybe, but there's a number of public defenders that don't necessarily have the bandwidth to do everything that I did for my client.
Because of the amount of the volume that they have to deal with. Yeah.
Exactly. I won't say it's because they don't care necessarily. I think it's just like if you have 200 cases that you're dealing with and I had one, I can give it a lot more attention and time than they can. So he came up to me in the hallway. He was like, they're talking about take the 16 months, like, can you please help me? And I'm like, I'll try. And then we end up doing it, and the rest is history.
And that's your first case. There's a
First
victory.
case, the victory. That's right. Second
That's
chance.
awesome, man. Second chance for sure. Well, he shouldn't have really needed a second chance to begin with, because he really didn't do anything wrong. But yeah, you helped him out. That's amazing, man. That's very, very cool. So Zino, talk to me a little bit about running a minority-owned firm in the criminal defense field. What kind of obstacles have you had to overcome? Are there challenges that are kind of shaping the way you're leading your firm? Talk to me a little bit about that, because I know there's got to be challenges for sure.
Absolutely. I think not so much now, coming up on 4 years, but in the beginning, certainly there were, just being 25 in a average 50-year-old person career.
Yeah.
I would be mistaken for the defendant, or mistaken for an intern. And there were times where it worked in my favor being young, because judges would go out of their way to give me advice to help my client.
Right.
On the side, there were times where I had to really let my writing speak for itself. Because I walk in, they're surprised that I'm 25 years old versus like, oh, I thought this was like a 10-year public defender. So I think just being underestimated has been a gift and a curse, definitely in the beginning. And on the leadership side, now we're at a great place that the firm is profitable. We're hiring other lawyers. We have, besides my partner, there's 3 other lawyers who work here now, so that's 5 total.
That's awesome.
And generally, it wasn't always as great as it is now with my team, but starting out, people who have come and gone, they generally were older, people looking for a change, and they really struggled answering to someone younger than them. And I won't necessarily say maybe my race had a factor, because some of them were Caucasian, but I think it was mainly more my age has been an issue with them. Like, wow, I'm not gonna listen to you. Like, I've been doing this for 10 years. I heard that a lot. Eventually, I just had to say, okay, well, go somewhere else with that. You can
work somewhere else. Yeah.
Like, this is how it works here. So that's been definitely, in the beginning, definitely a struggle for my age, but now more recently, hiring new people, I have to get them to really understand there's a reason you wanted to work here. There's a reason we get results. You're gonna have to follow my leadership, or you don't have to. You can definitely work somewhere else.
Love it. Your story is amazing, man. Like, it's amazing to me. Like, it sounds like a movie. Like you're in Los Angeles, man. You need to find a producer and pitch your story, because there's definitely a movie there. I want to go back to the story you were talking about, your first client, and to me, it sounds like there's definitely some profiling going on there, which is, in my opinion, inexcusable. This is not, I mean, this is a little off the wall, but I'm just curious. For-profit prisons, should they they should be outlawed? Yeah. Like, are they not just like slavery factories? Is that not really what it's for, is to produce slave labor?
Modern slavery. I mean, I think it's since that 13th documentary came out, people are aware of this now, but like the 13th Amendment clearly says slavery is not cool. It's not legal unless we find you guilty of a crime. So what did they start doing over 100 years ago? Well, we'll start arresting people, and that's how we'll keep slavery going. Now at this point, talking about my first client, if I didn't do what I did and someone else maybe represented him, he would have been in prison for 16 months, and then potentially would have gone to a prison that Goldman Sachs, constructed, right, and make money off of it. And then, Goldman Sachs owns the prison, and then they have contracts with Whole Foods and Victoria's Secret saying, we will use our prisoners to help create your clothing and help create, some of the food. And so that way, Victoria's Secret and Whole Foods can make a profit on their labor by having the prisoners do it. How's that not slavery?
They do it, what, 13 cents an hour or something crazy like that?
You can't, nothing substantial at all.
Yeah.
So definitely should be out for sure.
So the example you gave of your client there, I mean, are our police departments in cahoots with these for-profit prisons to like say, I don't want to get conspiratorial here or anything or crazy, but like, I don't know. That's kind of where my head goes, is like, are they profiling? Because it's like, okay, let's put some more black kids in prison so that they can do this cheap labor. No one's gonna miss the black kids. Like, I don't know. It's just, it infuriates me. It drives me crazy. And I'm just kind of curious from your perspective, being on the side that you're on. Like, I don't know. I'm just curious what your thoughts are. Again, I don't want to get conspiratorial or crazy.
It's not a conspiracy at all. It's reality. It's not a conspiracy. I think there's multiple reasons why my client can end up in the situation he's in. First and foremost, in any job, the higher your stats are, the more likely you are to get promoted and make more money. So that goes for anyone. For the cops, the more arrests they make that lead to convictions, that is more likely that they can get promoted to detective or something like that. For prosecutors, the more cases that they're able to resolve with convictions,
they can move up to DA.
Right, keep getting promoted. So I think from a cop perspective, they are looking at the stats of, should I go to Calabasas or Compton? And should I, what's the likelihood from their perspective that someone walking down the street or driving a tinted window in Calabasas has a gun in the car versus someone driving in Compton with a tinted window has a gun in the car? They're thinking of it that way. So I think that's primarily like they first want to get promoted. Secondarily, it's like an indirect way where it's like, if we keep filling the prisons, then there will be more of a need for police. So really, the more crime that we report happens, the more arguments we make against defunding the police. So it's like, it's not a conspiracy. It's just, it's just self-preservation, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know people who would hear me say something like that and they're like, you're just talking crazy conspiracies. And I'm like, I really don't think that's what it is, man. There's some deep, dark stuff happening that, people aren't really thinking about. So kind of in that same vein, I was reading that you have a desire to take your firm global. What does global justice mean to you in practice? And what's the vision? What's the plan for doing that? How does that work? I mean, will there be Grace Legal Group offices in Africa, in Europe? Like, where's your head at with regards to that?
Absolutely. So,
you said you went to Zimbabwe. Is that right? You went to Zimbabwe and did some work?
Uganda.
Sorry. Uganda.
Yeah.
The Z in the name threw me to Zino took me to Zimbabwe. Sorry.
It's like a lot of countries that sound the same. So in Uganda, again, they didn't have a public defender system. So when I went there for 10 weeks, there were a lot of people who had been just waiting for their first court date for years because of the backlog. And when we worked over there,
are they waiting in prison?
Yeah, in prison. There's no America has its issues, but at a minimum, we have due process still from our Constitution. Other places don't necessarily have that. So I remember I worked with a woman who was basically defended against her abuser. And if they had just gone to court, they would have seen that she was ill self-defense. But she never got to go to court. So we came, our Pepperdine, our law school program came over there, and we presented that evidence because it was pretty clear and there were witnesses, and they dismissed it. She had been there for like 4 years. And so I think for me, whether it's Los Angeles, California, or Lagos, Nigeria, I want a Grace Legal Group team in every city there's a courthouse in. That is my ultimate dream. And it might outlive me. It might be my kids or my legacy take it past that. But we can all learn from each other. I think, for example, the thing about putting people in cages, like Norway doesn't do that anymore. They're like, yeah, we can definitely segregate them from society and make sure that they're under, they lose their liberty. They're not free to go. But why can't we put them in locked rooms with beds in them? Why does it have to be a cage with a cot? And so I think if I can get a Grace Legal Group office across the globe, we can pool all our experiences together to basically end this global mass incarceration. That's really my dream.
That's a massive dream, man. That's incredible. Like, do you have a plan for like the first steps of expansion, or is that a little more long term? Tell me where you are with that.
Absolutely. So right now, the plan for the next 2 years is win trials, continue to get credibility, continue to hire people for my team, and then once I have LA locked down, then I plan to go through the rest of California by
Okay.
the next 2 years. Just like because I think there's like, besides here in LA, there's like 54 other counties with courthouses in them. So I would want to just like get a lawyer per county and just keep going like that and expanding. Then California, then Atlanta, then Houston, then New York, and then while we're in America, we have employees who are in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Some of them are lawyers, and they're telling me like, if you're ready to start in the Philippines, I'll help. And I'm like, okay, all right. So I think it's just, I'm leaving it up to God, the timing, but for now it's about winning my cases, continuing to win, getting credibility, and continuing to hire good lawyers who share the same vision.
Your vision is incredible. The whole model you want to put, like the world needs more Zinos. That's 100% what I can tell from this very short conversation. I'm super impressed, man, that with the fact that you started this so young. So you're 29. Is that how, you're not even 30 yet, right?
Yeah.
God, you're making me feel old.
I feel old. My back hurt this morning.
So all right, so I'll make you feel old. I want you to. The last thing I want to ask you, Zino, if you had one piece of advice for people who are going to be graduating law school in spring of 2026, they're coming out, they passed the bar, they're getting started in their legal career. What's a piece of advice, whether they're going to go into criminal defense, whether they're going to do immigration work, whether they're going to go be another personal injury lawyer? What's some advice you have for those new attorneys that are coming out?
I would say, do not let anyone tell you because you're young you can't do something. There's a reality of like, you still have to be a competent lawyer. So get competent. That's what the ethics law says. It says if you're not competent on something, you have a couple options: associate with someone who's competent or get competent. And that was kind of just my mindset from that first client. Like, okay, 16 months. I would spend hours figuring out what can be done. I would ask questions until I felt like I was competent. And no one could say I could do anything differently than what I did. So don't let anyone, because there are a lot of people still to this day who are like, you shouldn't be doing that. You're too young. And if I listened to them, we wouldn't be here having this conversation. The 438 people we've helped in the last 4 years wouldn't be helped. So don't let anyone tell you can't do something because you're young.
Those are strong words. I agree 100%. I tell them I say older children. I mean, I have children around your age.
No way. No
Yeah,
way.
I'll be 49 in December. So I started young. I have a 27-year-old.
Gotcha.
And I have a 19-year-old. And I tell them the same thing. First, I tell them that, but I also tell them that they also don't have to know exactly what they want to do right now. You tell my son, you're 27. You have so much time ahead of you. You don't even know. I'll be 49 in December, and some days I wake up and I'm like, what am I doing? What do I really want to do? So you have a lot of time. But yes, if you do want to start on a journey and you want to try something out, don't let anybody tell you you're too young. Those are great words to live by, Zino. Man, you got me pumped up. This has been a great conversation, man. I'm so excited for what the future holds for you and your partner and your firm. I hope that you guys will. I hope that we see Grace Legal Groups popping up, like you said, wherever there's a courthouse that you got somebody there. That's an incredible mission, and I think that can lead to some real reform too. If you've got advocates like you all over the world, what an amazing thing that would be. So, man, just absolutely love what you have going on, what you're doing. So you're only practicing in California right now, but we do have a lot of people that watch and listen in California. Most of them are business owners and whatnot, but they have children, they have younger people in their lives that maybe need some help, or maybe they need some help too. I mean, you're not just limiting yourself to working with helping young people out. Let people know how they can find you, how they can find the firm if they need some help with an issue.
Absolutely. And thank you for your words. Honestly, they mean a lot.
Oh, that's great. My pleasure.
Definitely Instagram at Grace Legal Group as the best way to reach us. See what we're about. We think we have some funny videos on there. We also try education as well. Just follow us at Grace Legal Group, GRACE Legal Group. Our website's also gracelegalgroup.com. I think Instagram would probably be the quickest way to find
Okay. Awesome. Do it, you guys. I'm gonna go check it out right now. I'm gonna give you guys a follow. I'm inspired. You got me inspired and feeling good and feeling more positive about what is happening in our world right now. And you know, there's so much horrible stuff that you can see every day just by turning on your phone, and it's nice to know that there are people out there like you that are trying to help people and make a difference and make a change, which is great, man. Thank you so much, Zino, for coming on and talking to us today.
Thank you.
What a great conversation.
My partner too, if you like. He has his own vision of this as well.
Is he right across from you?
Yeah, he's across the hall. I could.
Okay. Yeah, we'll get him on. Absolutely. Let's get him on the show for sure. I'd love to talk to him too. Yeah, I'll shoot you an email and we'll make that happen. We'll get him booked and have him come on too. Hopefully he can be as inspiring as you have been. No pressure.
No pressure.
You know, awesome, man. Great conversation. Those of you who are watching our live stream out there, we got a comment here. See Anissa Cole comment and said, so inspiring. I don't know if that's somebody you know or not, but someone was obviously inspired from the conversation. I was looking at some comments that are coming through. But those of you who are watching the live stream out there, we really appreciate you guys tuning in and checking out the show. If you're watching the recorded version on YouTube or listening on Spotify or Apple, we also appreciate you guys as well. I say this every time I do the show, but we love to get likes and thumbs and stars and all that good stuff that helps to get the show out to more people and helps people like Zino here spread his message and let everybody know what's going on with him. So do follow, do share, do like the show. All that stuff really, really helps. That's our show for today, people. I hope this has left you all feeling as uplifted and positive as I'm going into my Monday evening feeling. So, Zino, you're the man. I really appreciate it. We'll get you back on and I'll get your partner on. And the rest of you out there watching, we will see you guys tomorrow for more episodes of Partnerships for Profit. Y'all take care. Zino, we'll talk soon, my friend.
Later, brother.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Partnerships for Profit. We hope you've gained valuable insights on how to form profitable partnerships and take your business to the next level. Be sure to subscribe and leave us a review wherever you listen to podcasts so you never miss an episode. Got a partnership story to share or someone you'd like to see featured on the show? Reach out to us. Until next time, keep building those partnerships for profit.